Today I'm going to show you how to finish this motif that I started in the previous video. We have to finish with both trails meeting at the bottom of the motif. You would expect to finish right in the middle of the motif, but this becomes very obvious when you finish it there. So ideally finish to one side of the middle point or the other. I'll try and do it over this side so that you can see it better on camera. I'm also going to cover left and right picots because someone's asked me about those, and I'll show you throwing out pairs and then trimming off the ends once I've taken the centre pins out. First of all, we've got to work the trail, probably another 2 or 3 pinholes on the inside and outside edge of the trail, taking in the pairs from the ground as we go. So on this side we have left hand picots, and generally in Bucks Point and Bedfordshire you'll do a double picot in that both threads will go around the pin, and depending on the thickness of the thread, a general guide is 5 twists before the picot and 2 afterwards. So I've put the 5 twists on, I put the pin on the outside underneath the thread towards me and round. This puts a loop around the pin. Now you can either do it to the side of your pillow like I'm showing here, or straight into the pinhole. Hopefully you can see it better by doing it at the side. Once you've got that round, keep this loop loose and then take the second one round the outside, and both of the pair should end up on the inside of the pinhole. You can then put the 2 twists on and then slide it straight into the pinhole. You're keeping it loose while you're doing this, and this helps the twists go around the pin. And once you've got the pin in there, if you just tension it with both of the pair, this puts the twist around the pin, and then carry on working. Now at the moment I've got 3 pairs in the trail. I'm taking another pair in here, so just take it into the trail. I've now got 4 pairs in the passives in the trail, and we're wanting to reduce the number of passives down to the 2 passives plus the worker. So what I do, the pair that's just been taken in is on the inside. I take a pair from the outside, but not the very outside one, and I take next door but one to each other. Just let me zoom out a little so you can see which ones I'm doing. Next door but one to each other, so you're not taking adjacent ones. Pick the 2 up and put them to the back of the pillow. You're now down to 3 pairs, and carry on working. I'll just do this a little bit more off screen to get it to the point where I want to show you the join. I'm now working on the other side, and I'm going to show you the right hand picot. So again we want 5 twists on the pair, the worker pair. We put the pin under the outside edge towards you and round, and this time I'll put it directly into the pinhole. You leave the loop really loose that you've got around there while you take the second bobbin round the outside and then down into the middle and tension it up and put your 2 twists on. Still taking the pairs in from the centre, from the ground, and each time we're going to throw a pair out. Now at the moment I'm carrying 3 pairs of passives. I'll reduce those when we get to the join. Again, take them from the outside edge so that the pairs have been in longest, and just lengthen them and then put them to the back through the pins. These will all be cut off at the end, and because they're held in cloth stitch, they will be held in quite firmly. So on the outside edge, around towards you, pop the pin in, take the second one round, tension it up and put 2 twists on. Getting towards the finishing point now, you do have to turn your pillow slightly to be able to get the last few pins in there. And we're still taking a pair in at each pin, and each time throwing a pair out on each row. Just laying them to the back through the pins. And even though you've gone past the centre point, you're still doing left and right hand picots because it's the trail that you're looking at. Only a few more pinholes now to work, and then I can show you the join. You do have to make sure you get the second thread around the correct pin when you're doing the picots at this stage. Sometimes it's a bit tricky with all the pins in. Okay, so we've now got one more pair to take in. This last pin on the inside edge we're actually going to meet the worker at. So you have to decide which side you actually want to take this in. And I think I'll take it into the left hand side. I've got one more picot hole to work as well. I don't know whether you can see that there. So we're going to take the left hand one out to work that picot and then come back in to take in the last pair. Now I'm going to throw one out a little bit before I take the other one in this time, because I do want to get down to 2 pairs on each side. And once I've taken that pair in, then I'll be able to throw the last one out. So I've now got 3 pairs on each side, plus the workers. The workers have both worked through to the middle, and I'm now going to cloth stitch the 2 workers together and put the last pin in. And tension all of them up, of course, each time. And I can now throw the last 2 pairs out, one on each side, to give me the 2 pairs plus the worker. The 2 workers now come back out to the respective sides. So the left one's gone left, the right one's gone right. And you now have 6 pairs of bobbins left. Now to fasten it off, what we need to do is to get the passive on the inside from the left, join the one from the right. So all we do is, starting in the middle, take the 2 passives, one from left and one from right, and tie them in a reef knot. This can get a little bit tricky because you do have to jiggle it in between the pins, Sometimes it helps just to lean them out a little, like that, so you actually got a little bit more space in there. And a reef knot, you take the right hand bobbin and put it over the left and turn and take it through the loop. Try not to get your hands in front of the camera, and tension it up. And if you pull it up to the inside pin as much as you can, this will make it nice and neat. And then you take the left hand bobbin and put it over the top of the right and take it through the loop. And if you pull it up vertically, it helps you pull it down into the thread. And then leave those two outside like that, on the outside of the pillow. So to zoom out, you can see what I'm doing. I'll leave those two there. These at the back are all ones thrown out. I then go back to the middle and take the next two and do another reef knot. Now you do have to lengthen them a little bit to be able to do this. Right over the top, turn it, take the spangle through first, pull it up vertically and tie it in there. And then the left one over the top and through the loop, up vertically and put it down. And if you just leave them to the side there, you won't get them confused. Keep moving them up, and then the next two from the centre, each time taking a left and a right bobbin, right over the top, turn and through, left over the top and through. And then the last two passives, right over left, left over right. Now that one has gone a little bit loose, so that may need a little bit of adjustment with a needle afterwards. And then your two sets of workers, you knot those together as a pair in the same way with a reef knot and pull it up to the trail. Then I lengthen these and cut them off long, and then how you finish the ends will depend on the end use of your motif. If you're putting it in a frame, they can just be threaded through to the back and cut off short. But these I want to keep separate to the ones I've thrown out, and I'll show you why shortly. So the ones that I've just joined with the reef knot, I'm just going to cut those off long, like that. And I'm just going to pin those down so that I don't trim those when I'm trimming the other ones, just to keep them secure. The ones at the back, we can just trim those off, and we will take the centre pins out and then trim them all off close. Some people do the trimming off the ends after they've taken the lace off the pillow. Barbara Underwood always showed me to do it while it was still under tension, saying that you could actually trim it closer. So that is the way I'm going to show you today. Now all the bobbins are off the pillow. All it remains for me to do is to take the pins out the centre, leave all of the outside ones in, and then I'll show you the trimming off. Okay, so I've now taken all of the centre pins out, and I've just left the ones around the external edge of the lace. What we've got to do now is to be able to get the scissors into the ends that are left. So we've got two ends here, but as you can see, these pins are in the way. So you may need to push 3 or 4 pins down to enable access to the lace. And it's better to push them down than to try and do it without doing that. Once we've pushed them down, you can then get the scissors in to cut them. We have 2 threads that are thrown out, and the pair of bobbins. We take one thread at a time, and just let me zoom out so you can see what I'm doing with my hands. I'm going to hold it up, turn it slightly. I'm going to hold it up under tension with my right hand, trying not to get the camera in the way, or in the way of the camera. I'm going to put the scissors completely flat on the lace, slide them down the thread with it under tension and snip. By doing it under tension, the tiny wispy end disappears. So the next thread is here in my fingers, under tension, scissors flat and snip. And I'm going to do that with all of the ends that are now thrown out here. So it will take me a little while to trim it off. I'll come back and show you it finished in a minute. And that's the motif all trimmed up. Just make sure when you're using the scissors you use them flat on the lace, not pointing into the lace, because you will cut it if you point the points into the actual lace. There are also curved scissors you can get. These are ideal for doing the snipping off, because again it helps you cut close but without cutting the lace. This design is actually featured of one of the patterns in my Books Point lace workbook, and I've actually used a coloured worker and coloured gimp just to give it a bit more of an interest. It's enlarged to the one in the book, so worked at a slightly larger scale, and that's quite acceptable if you want to be able to see it better or make it fit a frame that you've got. Hope you enjoy this video. If you have, please subscribe, click on the bell symbol to get notifications, and lots more videos coming soon. Thanks for watching.